So, again, thank you for coming today. And today we have with us from the Counseling Center, we have Christina Gentili, and we have Marissa McIsaac from the Accessible Learning Center. And they're going to be presenting after I go over these few slides. So if you haven't done so already, you should be registering for your courses. And register for residence. You should make sure you have confirmed housing, whether you're on campus or off campus. The other thing you should be doing is attending these pre-arrival sessions. And if you haven't been attending the pre-arrival sessions, don't worry. We upload every session to the Wong Center's YouTube channel after the sessions are over. So you can always go back and watch them. The other thing you should be doing right now, if you're going to be arriving and making use of our free airport pickup service, you can sign up for it now. It is now live, the link. We're offering that service August 26th, 27th, and 28th. At 7 a.m., 2 p.m., and 11 p.m., we're going to have buses arriving at that time for transportation back to Acadia. And if you have any questions or concerns, or you're just unsure of things, you can always email us here at international@acadiau.ca. And the other thing you should do is to, if there's a student who hasn't, there's a bit of an echo on the line, so can you make sure that your mic is muted? Okay, so the other thing you should plan on doing is downloading the iSend app. So we're just going to go over a couple of those things here now. If you haven't done so already, please go through the pre-arrival guide, which is Acorn, also known as Moodle now. It's a really great tool where you can connect with your peers. There's information about coming to Canada and what's to expect when you arrive at Acadia. It goes over all the services offered here at the university, what it's like living in Wolfville, and things to do with health and wellness. And the other great thing about filling out or going through the pre-arrival guide, students who complete the course by October 1st will be entered in a draw to win one of 3 prizes. The first prize is $1,000 towards your tuition for the fall semester. And the second and third prize will be grocery gift cards worth $100 each. So there's an even bigger incentive to want to go through and complete the pre-arrival guide. There's information on these pages about uploading the iSent app, which is an excellent information tool with all the resources here offered at Acadia and things that are going on during orientation. So you should, if you haven't done so already, go on the app and upload that on your phone. If you haven't started following us on Instagram, it's another great tool for information sharing, and you can find us at Acadia International Center. And we have some important links here for you. If you click on this link, it will take you to the Wong International Center's YouTube channel. And this is what our channel looks like. And this is where you'll find all the sessions that have been recorded, all the different pre-arrival sessions and some immigration sessions as well. And again, our email address, international@acadiau.ca for questions and help. And the other website is the International Arrival and Orientation webpage. Can everyone see that page?
Yes, we can see it.
Okay, perfect. Okay. And so if you want to sign up for airport pickup, you just come over here under this important link and it will take you to our arrivals form. You can fill in all your information here with your flight number and the date you're going to be arriving, and then click submit, and then we'll make sure that you're picked up at the airport. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Christina and for the counseling presentation.
Hello, everybody. Thank you, Janet. I'm Christina, or I also go by Tina, and I'm one of the counselors at the Acadia Counseling Center. And so I'm going to simply quickly go over a couple of the services that we offer and how we can best support the students on campus. So just as a little bit of information about myself, I've lived in 4 different countries and I speak English, French, and German fluently. So I know very well what it's like to be traveling, being in a different country, and what that means in terms of mental health and the challenges that can come with that. So I'm always very empathic for students who do show up and are, going to a different country. So we're here to support you in that transition. And I'm just going to pull up my screen here so you can see a little bit about what we offer here. Can you see my screen?
No, not yet.
1 second. Pardon me. Let me try this again. All right, I just need.
I don't see it yet, Christina, unless there's something I'm
There we
missing.
go. I apologize. I'm having a bit of a technical issue here because of the security and privacy settings. Let me
Okay.
try this. Screen, and I apologize. Keep you waiting here. Would you like to try? Would Marissa like to jump in first while I try to figure this out?
That's a great idea. Marissa, if you'd like to start your presentation and then give Christina a few minutes to figure out the technical problems.
Yeah, absolutely. Can you see the PowerPoint?
I can, yes.
Okay, perfect. Here we are. Whoops. Right. Hi, everyone. So my name's Marissa. I work over in Accessible Learning Services, so I am the manager over there. So today I'm going to talk about our services, how to register with our services, and then if anyone has any questions, please feel free, if you're comfortable, reaching out in the session today, or if you prefer emailing, I'll include the contact information at the end. Sorry. So just wanted to introduce you with the team. So you may meet with anybody in this office. So we've got myself, like I said, I'm the manager. We have Kate Johnston. She's the Accessible Learning Support Advisor. So she provides academic support to students. So that could be some academic strategies, general checking in on how your semester's going and your courses, things like that. We have Jill Hasty. She's our accessibility resource facilitator. So she's often the first point of contact for students who are looking to register with our services or just receive additional information about our services. So Jill meets with students to talk about academic accommodations, disclosure, self-advocacy. Emily Duffett is our coordinator for our work integrated learning program. So that's around employment readiness, skill development, connecting students with resources and career services, resume, cover letter writing, things like that. And then we have Caleb Stark and Leah Warner. So Caleb is our coordinator of exam operations, and Leah is our exam support coordinator. So they coordinate all of the accommodated midterms and exams that happen throughout the semester. And they also talk to students about how their tests are going as well. So that's just a brief overview of our team. So our services, they include general academic support. So accommodations, so classroom and testing, workshops that we have, so that's around academic skills, and then assisting students with advocacy with their professors. So students contact our office and they meet with staff to discuss their needs, develop accommodation plans based on documentation. So our office, we also provide resources and support to faculty and staff to ensure they're equipped to provide accessible instruction and services as well. So these are a couple of different examples of what you can look and ask for, what's available. So this slide is just talking about what is a disability. So the term permanent disability applies to a range of disabilities. So that includes physical, psychological, medical, or cognitive learning disabilities. Sometimes students, they associate having a permanent disability with having a visible or physical disability, but that is a misconception. Disabilities can be invisible as well. We also provide temporary accommodations. So what that means is if a student, for example, has a broken wrist or a concussion that has a recovery period, and they require accommodations based on a temporary basis, we also provide those types of accommodations as well. So what is an accommodation? So accommodations reduce or remove barriers to ensure that there's fair and equitable access to classroom, in the classroom settings, testing, co-op or fieldwork, extracurricular activities. So they're applied and assessed on an individual basis. And then having an accommodation, it does not provide students with an unfair advantage. So it provides students with equitable opportunities to showcase learning. So students with accommodations, they're still expected to demonstrate that they've met the learning outcomes of their courses. And it's a shared responsibility. So again, the professor, our office, and students. So again, that's that shared responsibility to implement those accommodations. So our office, we're committed to providing a supportive, inclusive, and welcoming on-campus environment for all students, staff, and faculty. So we facilitate access to supports and resources to students. That helps to maximize opportunities for a successful and meaningful experience while they're at Acadia. And again, we help to remove or reduce barriers for equitable participation as well. So that can look like I was saying, classroom or testing accommodations. So that could look like extra time to write your tests in one of our testing rooms. That could be finding helping students find note takers or tutors, classroom accommodations. So helping students with developing more presentation skills. Just a couple of different examples. We also, in our workshops, that's where we build a lot of these academic strategies with students too. So at the beginning of the term, we usually focus more on organization, time management, starting the semester off. And then we build on them as the semester goes on. So that could look like closer to final exams, more final exam preparation, study strategies, stress management, things like that too. And then Kate from our office put together a few strategies for academic adjustments. So pre-departure, pre-arrival to Acadia, looking at the academic expectations and processes. So taking a look at your course outlines or course syllabi, looking at the grading schemes, student responsibilities, what's in your syllabi, so due dates, things like that. And then during your time, being curious and open-minded, talking to your professors. So going to your office hours is always a good thing because you can get that immediate support from what's being learned in the classroom. And then also, having a check-in with your professor about how your assignments are going, how your class performance are going. And then talking to your academic advisors as well. So talking about course loads, what courses to take, things like that too. So that helps you with your transferable academic skills to other courses as well. And then reaching out for help early too. So if you aren't sure if you are able to register with our services, then definitely reach out. We can always meet with students to talk about our services in more detail, how to register, everything like that too. So our intake process. So first, what we recommend is requesting and scheduling a meeting with the staff in our office. We have an intake form that's online. So students can either reach out for us for that link or they can find it on our website under the register tab. So in your intake meeting, we discuss classroom testing accommodations, other types of academic support students may need, how to register. If you have documentation, we talk to you about what accommodations that you'd be approved for. We also talk about potential accommodations as well. So if sometimes students, they're in process of getting documentation. So we meet with them and talk about temporary accommodations. And then once they receive documentation, that permanently registers students. And then accessing the resources. So again, like I was saying, the workshops that happen throughout the semester. We also have a few academic resources that are on our website. It's open to any student too. So even if you aren't registered with our services, but you see a workshop topic that you'd like to attend, just reach out and then we can register you in for that workshop as well. So that's a brief overview of our processes. Does anyone have any questions? And if you're more comfortable emailing questions too, our email is up there as well. So you can send an email to the accessible.learning@acadiau.ca email, and then a member of staff will return that email with more information.
And also, if there's any students who are uncomfortable for whatever reason, you can always put your question in the chat. In the chat to the side of the presentation on the screen, and Marissa would be able to answer it. I think everyone's quiet today. Well, I don't see any questions coming up, Marissa.
Yep. Yeah, and that's okay. And like I said, if anyone does have any questions later on, again, please feel free to reach out.
Okay, thank you very much, Marissa. That was really quite interesting. I even learned some things about accessible learning.
Yeah.
And Christina, I'm just wondering if you've figured out the technical glitch. Oh, you just need to have your microphone. Your microphone, is it on?
Yes, there we go.
Okay, there we go.
So thank you for that. And thank you, Marissa. And thank you for your patience with the technological glitch. I think I figured it out. So I'm going to move into sharing my screen. Are you able to see my screen?
Yes.
Wonderful.
We can see it. Yeah.
Okay. Okie doke. So for those of you who joined after I introduced myself, my name is Christina or Tina, and I'm a clinical counselor at the Acadia Counseling Center. So before I get into the details of the counseling center, just to have some language clear what counseling is. So counseling is a word that sometimes is interchanged with therapy or psychotherapy. So you could say the Acadia Therapy Center, essentially, but the term that we use here a lot most commonly is counseling center. So this is our team, just so that you see some faces and who we are. Erica to the left is our Director of Health Counseling Accessible Learning. The person that will be very important for you will be Jacqueline. She's the administrative assistant, so if you decide to reach out for any services for counseling, you'll be emailing her or calling her, and she's a lovely lady. She's very, very welcoming. So this is the person you'll be speaking with. The rest of the team, you see, we have a variety of individuals on our team. Most of us are clinical counselors. Marissa is a psychologist, so she's a candidate at the moment. We also have Courtney Sheedy, who's a campus health and wellness coordinator. So she does a lot of health promotion on the campus. And then we also have Allison Smith, who's our sexualized violence response and education coordinator. So that's a big, long title, but essentially her job is very important because we do know that at arrival at universities in general, the first couple of weeks, the first 8 weeks are very crucial. A lot of parties happen at universities, which is a good thing. And people are enjoying their time, being introduced to the university life. However, we do know that sexualized violence goes up during those first couple of weeks. And so we do want to be very careful, of course, and mindful that those things don't happen. But if something like that did happen, Allison Smith would be the person you would want to contact. So it's her job to provide education, resources, and also provide support with regards to how you would like to next proceed. So just so you know that all of us are available to you. But the process will be the following. So before I get into kind of process pieces, where are we located? So here's a kind of a bit of a map. We're located in the lower level of the old Student Union building, or here we call it the sub. Our office hours are from 8:30 to 4:30. And we also offer one evening a week, and that will be with one of our counselors, David. And the options for how we do counseling or therapy is it can be in person, it can be virtual, or it can be over the phone. So we do understand that sometimes people are away, or sometimes people just, with their busy schedules with university, it can be a lot easier to do a virtual appointment over the computer. So just so you know that we do try to accommodate as much as possible. How this works, and in terms of services that we offer, is we used what we call step care. And step care is the model most universities in Canada work with, or university counseling centers. And it's early intervention as a way to preventing serious health issues and possible mental illness. So it's a shift away from pathology. And when I say pathology, it's a word meaning looking at illness and looking at disease. And it's really more about creating resiliency and building strengths. So what do I mean with that? So I know that depending on culture and where you're from, there are certain countries where I know that going to a therapist is a bit of a taboo subject. Only, I'm going to say, like, crazy people go to a therapist. And so that is not at all the case. And I'd like to kind of debunk that myth. Um, Within Canada, or within, I think, the greater kind of counseling world, I think there's more and more a shift to moving towards wellness and looking at ways of how we can prevent getting to a place where we feel like we're out of control. So we will help students with a variety of issues. So whether it's stress, whether it's time management, whether it's anxiety, whether it's depression, whether it's transitioning to Canada and having a culture shock and just not knowing how to deal with all those different pieces. So we are a place where you can come to and speak to a professional and how to move forward. So we're really looking at empowering students and maximizing how you can help with your own health. We're strength-based, and we kind of work together to create a bit of a care plan for you. So using online tools or referrals for the community. So some of the services that we offer through the counseling services, is individual counseling. We also have offered a variety of groups in the past. So yoga, we've offered mindfulness. We've also a men's specific wellness group. We've had kickboxing, grief and loss groups, support and study groups. We have queer groups, so individuals who do identify as non-binary or within the LGBTQ plus community. We do offer groups sometimes for those as well. We have eating disorders support groups. So it really depends on the semester, but please check in with us to see what we're offering. We offer through Healthy Minds. There's e-mental health tools, so electronic mental health tools. We have, as I mentioned, our sexualized violence prevention training. This is bringing in the bystander, consent forms. We have strong collaborative work with peer support offices. So we work with the Acadia Mental Health Initiative, Women's Center, and also with Pride. We have health and wellness promotion and programming with Courtney Sheedy, who runs Acadia at Night, which is when you want to be keeping your eyes out for. So Acadia at Night is very, very popular. Courtney Sheedy runs a lot of fun things on campus. So this might look like a movie night or a dance night. So it's a way for students to get together and do fun and safe activities. Um, and so we also offer presentations for staff and faculty. So you can see that our counseling center is very busy, but these are all ways that we try to help and support the university students. So one group I'd like to emphasize that I will be running coming this September is Coffee Chai Chat. And Coffee Chai Chat is going to be a weekly wellness hangout. And you'll be able to grab a free cup of coffee or chai. And it's a way for primarily international students to kind of get together and just talk about health and wellness. And so these are going to be options for you to just kind of meet and greet without necessarily feeling that there's a commitment. You don't have to go every week. You could come one time, you could come every time. And it's just it's supposed to be a fun hang. And if you just want to come by and grab a cup of coffee, that's fine too, and you can leave. So there's no need to hang out if you don't want to. I also want to emphasize we do have a support for African descent, Indigenous, and students of color. So on our team, we do have a racialized counselor, Marissa, and who's absolutely lovely. And for students who are not comfortable seeing a white counselor or a white therapist, we do want to offer the possibility for students to be connected with someone that they might relate to more. So we're very aware of that need. So we would like to provide that for students. And so this can help, provide culturally relevant mental health resources and supports. So what to expect from counseling? For those of you who've never had counseling, this might be a bit of a scary thing to do, but I do just want to quickly outline how that looks like. So if you were interested in speaking with somebody, what that would look like is you would book an initial intake appointment with our administrative assistant, Jacqueline. And so this intake appointment is a 50-minute appointment where there's an intake coordinator or a counselor, or sometimes a practicum student from the counseling department, who would essentially ask you a couple of questions. Questions like, what's going on? Why do you want to come to the counseling center? What's been helpful in the past? Have you had counseling in the past? Those type of things. So nothing too big, but just kind of get a bit of a sense of what you're looking for. And the intake appointment is not a counseling session. So it's really just a bit of a meet and greet and see how can we help you. So that brings us to step 2. So here we're going to be assessing your needs. And we also might ask you to fill out a screening process or an assessment of anxiety and depression. The third part would be we would be developing a plan based on your concerns and needs. And then 4, if individual counseling is relevant, you will be referred to one of our counselors. And if not, you might just need, some ideas to where do I go for this? Where do I go for that? And we might just send you off for some resources. But if counseling is something that you're looking for, then we go into the counseling session. You book a counseling session, which is a 50-minute session. And something I'd like to note is that you get 10 counseling sessions per academic year. So what does that mean? That means you get to have 10 sessions from September to September, and then next September it starts up from 0. So however you want to spread that out is the way, you decide. But just to know that you get 10 sessions. Some additional resources. I won't read them all out, but we do have a lot of different resources here that are to your disposition. One that I always like mentioning to students is the I'm Well app. I don't know if you can see my cursor here, but I'm just kind of underlining the I'm Well app, which is at the bottom there. The I'm Well app has a lot of resources, mental health resources for you. So I always like to mention that you also have counseling through that app. So you can download that app. Technically, you're paying for it already if you registered for your courses and if you're with ASU. So you get counseling through that app as well. So if you can't get in with our center as fast as you would like, you can have the opportunity to connect with someone through I'm Well. So in order to contact us, there's the Counseling Center. Once again, here is Jacqueline. She's the one you're going to be talking with. And that's our email address, or you can call us. And then quickly on the health center, I do not work in the health center, I will say this, so I can't answer a lot of questions with regards to the health center, but I just wanted to let you know that across essentially the road from where we are located is the health center. And the health center has physicians, so doctors that you can go see for medical diagnosis, for women's health, men's health, for transgender health, for sexual health, or even allergy injections, or even emergency contraceptions. So there's a lot of things. If you're not well and you feel like you need to see a doctor, please contact the health center. It's good to get in contact with them early on because there can be quite a bit of a wait list once the semester gets rolling. So if you're someone who knows that you're going to need to have a physician or some sort of medical support, then I would highly recommend that you contact them sooner rather than later, because you may be waiting a couple of weeks before you can get in. So what to expect? So we ask that students please send a picture of your health card. This is for Canadian students, or your Acadia health insurance for international students, to the health center for registration process. And then students can also access virtual medical consultations 24 hours a day, including and days when the clinic is closed, through direct to you doctors. And so that's the information for the health center. Are there any questions? I realize I just gave you all a lot of information, but any questions that you would like some responses to, and you can obviously send me your questions via chat as well.
Things are quiet here today, Christina. In the
All
chat
good.
group. So as Christina said, if you're, if you're not, if you'd rather not, raise your hand and use your mic, you can easily type out a question in the chat forum,